Hi, welcome to our drawing a piglet video. And today we're going to draw this cute little piglet. And one thing we're going to work on today is that we're not going to draw the whole piglet. You see that the back of the piglet is off of the paper and off of the frame here. So we're going to draw our piglet and we're going to focus on the face and the ears and the front feet, and it's okay if the back of the piglet goes off the page. So I want you to think about where you're putting your piglet when you start your drawing. So I'm actually using pink paper. I just happen to have some pink paper, so I thought I would do this piglet because he's a cute pink piglet on this pink paper. So I'm going to start, if you want to try and find the middle of your paper, I'm going to draw in the middle of my paper an oval, but this oval is not going to be like an egg shape or a avocado shape. I'm going to make it more like a rounded rectangle. So if you thought of a rectangle that had the corners rounded off, the top and the bottom here are about the same width. If you had an egg, you'd have a pointier side and a rounder side. So this is my rounded rectangle. I'm going to call it an oval for now. So I'm also going to divide my oval shape in half, horizontally and vertically, with some really light lines, just to help me to put in things in the right place. First thing I'm going to do is add the nose. So the pig's snout that you see here is really close to the bottom of the head. So I'm going to start with a smile shape, so a curve very close to the bottom of the head. And then using that as the location where I want my snout, I'm going to put in my shape for the snout. So this shape is a little bit smaller curve here, and it gets a little wider, and it's kind of like a dumpling shape or a little bit of a gumdrop shape. And the nostrils are going to be two ovals toward the outer edge of this shape, and I'm putting them just above the center of, so if this was about the center of my shape, I'm putting them toward the top. And then above that snout, I'm going to put in a couple little wrinkles. My piglet has some little wrinkles above the snout there. Now I want to put in the eyes. So our piglet's eyes are big black eyes, and they're above the center. So this is the center of my oval. Above the center on the outer edge, I'm going to put two ovals. So one is they're standing up. They're kind of long, narrow ovals. And I'm going to put two of them, one on each side, and I want them to kind of match in size. So they're really far over toward the edge of the head. They're pretty big. I'm going to put in a sparkle in the eye, so I'm going to put in an oval on either side, on either eye, that I'm not going to color in. I'm going to leave that. And then I want to put some wrinkles above and below. Now we're going to get those ears in there. So right next to the eye, I'm going to start here on the left, but just next to the top of this eye, I'm going to make a little curve that comes out. This is going to be the bottom of the ear. And then at the top of that side of the head, I'm going to start my ear, and I want to come out away from the head and up toward the top of my paper. Now I don't want a sharp point at the top. I want a round top of the ear, a small little curve, and then I'm going to connect that to that little smile curve I put on the bottom. This is going to be my piglet's big ear. Then there's also a curl on its ear, so we're seeing the inside of the ear and a little bit of a fold where the outside of the ear. So just down from the top of the ear at the edge of the head, I'm going to make a line that's parallel to the top of the ear. So I'm going to kind of follow that curve and then come up. And that's going to be the curve of my ear. Now I want to do the same on the other side. So near the top of the eye, at the side of the head, I'm going to make that kind of a smile curve. And then up here at the top of the head, all the way to the right side, I'm going to come out in a curve and toward the top of my page. Now the ears don't have to be exactly the same because this piglet has one ear a little bit bigger than the other. Remember, we don't want a cat's ear with a point on top. We want a rounded top of the ear. And then I'm just going to come down to the bottom here where I made that smile curve. And then just below the top of the ear here, I'm going to make that fold. So in here we're going to put some shadow so that it looks like the inside of the ear. It's a little bit darker than the rest of the pig's ear. So now you'll notice that our little piglet is leaning on the, laying down and leaning on the front leg here. So just below the nose, we're going to start by putting a curved line coming off to the left side of your paper. And then from where it touches the bottom of the head, I'm going to continue and come just out to about as far as my ear sticks out. So this is going to be the top of the front foot. Now at the bottom of that curve down toward the bottom of the paper, I'm just going to make a little curve. This is going to be the first toe. Then I'm going to put in a line for the second toe and curve it at the bottom. And then finally the third toe. And the bottom of that toe is going to continue into the whole leg. So this is where I'm going to come across horizontally. I want to come a little past this line I put for the top of the leg. I'm coming a little bit further to the right. And now I want to make an elbow. So I'm going to make a curve that comes straight up. This gives our piglet a little bit of an elbow. Now we're going to put in the second leg. So at the side of the face, just across from the snout, I'm going to start the second leg. And this leg is going to come at a little bit of an angle toward the bottom of your paper, toward the left side and the bottom. And then I want to give the bottom of the leg horizontally. It's going to start just at the top of the toes here and come horizontally. I want the thickness of this leg to be about the same. And then I'm going to continue that top line and come down to be the top of the toes. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the curve, and then the second toe, and the curve, and then this third toe is going to connect to the rest of the leg. So there's my piglet's other foot. Now we don't see a lot of the body, so hopefully you don't have a lot of space here on your paper, and my piglet reference is going to come right off of the paper. So what I want to do is let's put this here so you can see what I'm doing. I want to start at the bottom of this ear on the right, and I'm going to just give a nice curve. This is going to be the top of the pig's back, and it goes right off of my paper. So you see that it just ends at the edge of the paper and goes right off. And then just a little up from my elbow, I'm going to start another curve for my pig's belly. So now my piglet is off to the side of the paper a little bit, but that's okay because the really big eyes and that snout and those big giant ears are right in the center of our paper. So now I'm going to erase those guidelines that I'm not going to need. You can also erase these after you outline if you want. Sometimes it's easier to do it after. I'm going to use a thin black pen to fill in my eyes. I do want to try and leave those sparkles in the eye. Normally I say those are going to be white because they're going to be paper, but my paper's pink. So there'll be a little pink sparkle in the eye today. I'm going to use the same black pen to fill in those sparkles, fill in those eyes, sorry. I'm also going to fill in the nostrils when I do my outlining. So I'm just outlining my pig. And then don't forget, just take the back of the pig's belly and back right off of your page. So once I'm done outlining, I don't have a lot of color to fill in because I used pink paper. But if you did not use pink paper and you used white paper, you can go ahead and fill in your pig with a light pink marker. If you have a light pink marker, you can use a light fleshy skin color if you have that. If you have something that is very pale, like a light tan color. So you can do marker all over your pig if you did not use colored paper. And then go with your colored pencils, which I'm going to do now, and go right over your marker. Because once the marker's dry, you can go right over it with your colored pencil. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you my finished one here, is I'm just using some darker pink or a purple color and then a pink color to add a little bit to my piglet. So there's not a lot of color here, but I added some shadow. You see I added with my, this is called Bordeaux red. It's kind of a darker pink, a little bit purpley color. And I used my colored pencil to add some shadow here. I added some shadow with that darker color underneath the belly and then inside the ears. And with colored pencils, they're really nice because you can start off really lightly. I like to start off, and I like to use my colored pencil all in the same direction. So in this case, I'm going in this direction, the way the fur is growing in this piggy's ear. And I'm starting off really light, but then I can press a little harder and I can get a little bit darker color in here. My pig's ear is folded over, so there's a little bit darker shadow in here, a little bit more pink in here. And I really like that about colored pencils is you can press a little harder and layer on some color there. And then this whole ear is a little bit more pink than the rest of the body, so I can use my a little bit different pink pencil, a lighter pink, and kind of add a little extra color that way. I can use a little of this light pink around the eyes. And you see I'm using really light strokes and I'm going in the same direction. My piglet has some shadow right around the top of the snout, and then the snout is a little darker than the rest of the body. So I'll show you my photo again. The snout is a little bit darker here. The ears are a little darker pink, and then this front leg here is in shadow, so it looks a little darker. So I can use my darker pencil there and give a little shadow in there. So you can gradually add some color, even though this is just a pink piglet, and give it a lot of roundness. So I put a little shadow at the top and the bottom of the legs, and that gives it a little roundness. The belly looks rounded because I added a shadow under here. And there's our little piglet. So I hope you enjoyed drawing this piglet today. And check out the rest of our videos on our YouTube, and I'll see you guys for the next class coming up soon.